All of you good people out. Oh, goodness. Get the light on. There you go. Happy Wednesday, all of you good people. Thank you for joining us for the Ravori Sports podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. So if you're watching us live, you're watching us on our Twitch page, on our Twitter page, on our X. Twitter's X, our Kick channel, and of course on YouTube. So thank you very much for joining us here. More and more of you are joining. We thank you here. We're about a week before the Yuletide. So happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah has just started. So thank all of you out there. Be safe this holiday season. Just be safe out there. Sometimes the holidays can bring out the best and the worst in people. So you try and be one of the best as far as the holidays and everything are concerned. So real quick, just because it's the holidays, our business doesn't stop. We keep going. Genesis Notary Services /Facebook.com. We're going to have our Genesis Notary Services live stream on New Year's Day this year, 12 o'clock. So definitely, too, our Ravori Sports audience for the first time is going to see one of our Genesis Notary Services live streams. It's going to be on this channel as well, talking about where we are in the notary business, really. So definitely, this is not so much like what you need to do, meet a notary, blah, blah, blah. This is kind of like where we are here in Winchester, etc., where we're going. Harris, Legal Shield. So definitely check that out. So definitely send us a message. The best way is to go to our LinkedIn page, go to our LinkedIn page, go to our Facebook page, go to Harris Legal Shield. Actually put in Harris Legal Shield, even better, Harris Legal Shield, Winchester, Virginia, and go ahead and do that. Finish the Christmas shopping with ravorisports.company.site or on our links and fanatics, which are live usually during the game. So definitely check that out. Can't wait to see those Pete Alonso jerseys that we're going to get to sell on the website. So definitely check that out here as well. And our Ravori Sports shopping website is going to have our rebrand, our live stream for it Friday night before the Super Bowl. So instead of watching SmackDown, like a lot of you are going to watch, you can watch the Ravori Sports rebrand live stream. So definitely pop in, put us in the background, put us on, so you can go ahead and check out all the information that's on the website. All right. So it's always cool to do the podcast a week after a Ravens victory. And quite a game it was, quite a victory it was for the Ravens. This was very unique stuff. This was old school, 24-0. So it's hard for another team to win the game when they don't score. They didn't score. Ravens defense, that's about as good as they have looked underneath of Zach Orr during the whole time he's been the head guy on the defense. Very good stuff. I thought the pass rush overall was really good as well. So let's check it out. The box, what happened in this one game. Lamar, statistically not great, but he looked better. I thought that looked like a Lamar who could take a team into the playoffs and do some things. 8 for 20, 8 for 12, 150, 2 TDs, 1 INT. I thought Lamar, it was good stuff from Lamar Jackson as well. Lamar, I thought, had even the INT ball bounced out of his hand, very cold weather, reportedly one of the coldest games ever in Raven history. But I thought that looked more like what we've been seeing, what we're used to seeing from Lamar throughout his career. Derrick Henry's probably not going to go to the Pro Bowl because of the production of the running backs in the AFC, but Derrick Henry's still having a good season here. 11 carries, 100 yards. It just is flat out baffling why he's not getting more carries. Now, they ran the ball more in this game. You saw a little bit more Lamar Jackson running the ball. You saw Keaton Mitchell getting some carries. So they did run the ball overall more as well, and that should be the formula anyway. You should be running football a lot as well. Zay Flowers, I thought this was pretty decent from Zay Flowers, I thought, in this game. Zay Flowers did have that drop early that cost the interception. The weather was bad, but he kind of pops every game. Every game you're getting something big from Zay Flowers. which is really good. DeAndre Hopkins did well in this game. They didn't have those Rashard Bateman in this game. Thank you very much. Girl Scout, not Girl Scout cookies, but these cookies here. So, right. So, but did he get something big from Zay every game as well? But we will see. That was pretty good stuff as well in this one. Mike Green got a sack in this one across the board. I think, to me, I'm really tracking him as far as his going forward. Mike Green had a sack in this game. Tavius Robinson had a sack in this game. Travis Jones had a sack in this game. Best I've seen pass rush look, I thought, for the Ravens, and it made a huge difference. They have good guys on the back end, I think, but the pass rush is so vital to what they're doing. Joe Burrow, not a great day for him. Obviously, no touchdowns because you didn't score. He had 2 interceptions, 25 for 39. They're not helping him. They're not helping him. They outside of Jamar Chase, there wasn't a lot there for them. Don't get me wrong, and Chase is a stud, but the tight end production is really wasn't there at all. The other receivers really didn't step up. Their offensive line, some people talk about like it's the worst ever, and I wouldn't go that far, but certainly you need some help at the tight end, but you certainly need some help there. They're not a great line, but they didn't help Joe Burrow at all. Burrow wasn't great either, though. I thought Burrow, see a little bit of this with him. It's good at times, and then others, not great. Chase Brown, 13 for 53 yards on the ground. He's pretty good. If there is a guy that I just seen like him and a lot of running backs in the NFL underutilized. Why aren't you, again, kind of like baffling, like why they don't use him more? They did find a way to get the ball to Chase. 10 receptions, 132. What's that? Half the yards, more than half. Like the receiving yards. He was all they had. Even with the double coverage, he still got a lot of ball. I mean, this guy is really a good receiver. Even with double coverage, even with the other, whenever they went anywhere else, they really didn't do much. Demetrius Knight was good in this game. He had 2 sacks. I thought that was probably their best defensive player on Sunday. He was all over the field as well. Their defense doesn't do much. Trey Hendrickson not being there, they don't have that natural pass rush, so they kind of scheme up stuff as well. And I would say this is one of the first games where I really don't have complaints about the offensive line as well. Even Falele, I thought they looked decent all the way through. I thought whatever the case, whatever Cincinnati's problems was, I thought they looked decent all the way through. So Ravens win the game 24-0 in this one. So Ravens actually go ahead and take out the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are, if this was inside the NBA, we said they were going fishing, eliminated from the playoffs. A little bit on Cincinnati. Cincinnati, they're not. You could tell. Like I heard somebody say this week, or last night on the open mic, Ken was talking about how ownership doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Look at this Cincinnati team. Yes, it does. This is like even when you get stuff right, it's not right. There was in a movie. I always make the joke about the old Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence movie Life. Can't get right. Why can't you call them can't get right? Because they can't get right. All the talent that you have, you got Joe Burrow, you got Trey Hendrickson, you got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins, you got Orlando Brown, you draft high, but you still they just don't feel right a lot of times unless they get these tremendous gains from Burrow. So that's a problem. They're going to have to try again next year. I don't think they do anything with Burrow in the offseason. What would be the point? I think they're a little frustrated, but I think maybe he wants out. You could see that, but I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see what happens with them in the offseason as well. But no Bengals, obviously, in the playoffs. And we got 2 of the best teams. This is definitely for playoff contention. The New England Patriots are back. 11-3, second best record in the AFC. Mike Vrabel, now former linebacker for the Patriots, now the head coach of them, and they are now playing this week. Flex to Sunday night because it's such a big game. Ravens still, even with the 7-7 record, fighting for first place, one game behind the Pittsburgh Squealers. So let's take a look. If some of you haven't seen New England, let's go over what's there in New England. Drake May, probably his worst outing last week, but really, he was really in the MVP conversation all the way up until then. But Drake May, I think, like, look, this guy, no surprise what he's doing in the NFL. Pinpoint accuracy, I think, good athleticism, not a Lamar Jackson as far as speed. I think he's going to surprise some people with his speed, I think, as well, but not a real burner, but really good accurate passer. Really good accurate passer. I think he's carrying them more than what people realize in New England. But Drake May, second year, you could argue now he's the best of the group now. Drake May, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So good stuff from Drake May. Another guy who's great in college, and I'm surprised he's good. Travion Henderson is there. Ramon Stevenson is there. Been there a couple of years, but this guy is the guy as well. Home run hitter. That's what it is. So certain guys are home run hitters. You want guys, running backs. You look at the last few weeks with guys like Chase Brown and who are good backs, but every time the ball gets in his hands, he can go to the end zone and take it all away. Didn't really play all season, so I think that's why the stats aren't even better than what it is. But 129, 625, 5 TDs, had a huge run last week in the game against Buffalo right off the bat. So definitely he's a guy that Ravens definitely need to be keyed up on. I think that's just going to be big to take away the play action that they like to run in New England with Drake May. And if you could do something to contain yourself with Henderson, they run the ball a lot. I do see that's the difference between Belichick and Brady and all that other stuff to what I'm seeing right now. They run the ball a lot. I think they kind of surprise people with that. Their number one guy is Stephon Diggs on offense as far as the receiving core. Stephon, not quite the receiver he once was, I think, but still very solid receiver. I've always liked his hands. I don't think he's got that blazing breakaway, tearaway speed like Stephon Diggs. I think more in his prime years, a few years ago, he would just really go past people like in the open field. I don't think that is as good as well, but definitely he's their top guy. They really don't have a great receiving core in New England. I'm really not that impressed with their receiving core as well. And I think this is their best guy, but kind of like what we're seeing the role. I think if they had a DeAndre Hopkins, this is kind of the role he would be in. Like he's getting more volume, he's doing a little bit more. I think that's actually a good barometer there for them as well. Harold Landry is there. So this is a guy that Mike Vrabel is familiar with. The lights there. This is a guy that Mike Vrabel is familiar with, playing in Tennessee with him. 7.5 sacks. Tied for the team lead. This New England defense is very, very good. Kind of like what we saw in Tennessee, very understated. Harold Landry, you wouldn't put him. Would you put him as up there with the TJ Watts and Hutchinson's as a star? But all this guy does is get double-digit sacks wherever he goes. Plays well. Definitely a solid pass rusher. I think he's a better pass rusher than anybody we have. I think the run defense is really good against stopping the run. Secondary, I think, is very underrated. New England's defense is very, very underrated. I think that's the strength of the football team, even as good as Drake May has been. Lamar, that looked like Lamar last week. Running the ball, taking the ball upfield, hitting those pinpoint passes. That looked like the Lamar Jackson that we know, right? And this is the one that's going to have to be there the next 4, 5, 6 weeks if the Ravens do play it on the way to the Super Bowl and being successful doing something there as well. So we're definitely going to have to take a Lamar situation there. All right, there you go. All right, Derrick Henry. Solid season for him. He's almost at 1,200 yards received, 1,200 yards rushing. He's got 10 TDs. Derek's been good. I got no complaints about Derrick Henry. Derek has been really solid in terms of his production on the field. So Derek has been really good in terms of his production on the field this year. Derek, I got to tell you, I think a lot of the problems that Derek has had is his offensive line. So definitely he's a guy that really needs to get production. I mean, if the line looks like it did last week, I don't have any problems with Derrick Henry doing what he does. Thank you. Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry was sorry about that. Derrick Henry was solid last week. Zay Flowers, I think he's your most valuable Raven here over the season. Drops in the last game, notwithstanding. Flowers gives you big plays every single game. Had the long touchdown pass last week in spite of the drops. I'm having a hard time not picking Zay Flowers as your most valuable Raven here, at least on offense so far. Roquan Smith has been really racking up tackles here lately. So that's good stuff. Bad news, obviously, Teddy Buchanan missing. He was even on the practice report, but he's done for the season, torn ACL. Did not look good as well. So definitely going to have to step up. The good news is Roquan in the second half has been really, really good. So really good stuff from Roquan. Solid production here late as we go for Roquan Smith. So he's been really good here at the end. Really stopping the run, setting the tone. He really being the leader, the linchpin, I think, along with Kyle Hamilton as well. DeAndre Hopkins. D-Hop, D-Hop and Bateman, I'm not on them at all. I just don't think they get a lot of catches in this offense. I just don't think a third, fourth receiver, they're not going to get a lot of catches. D-Hop, I'll have one negative thing about D-Hop. I would like to see him more catch balls, obviously, but definitely in the red zone. I'm good with that. I'm more than good with that. Definitely Bateman did return to practice this week, but if they need to play him more, fine with D-Hop. I think he could be a big X factor. Certainly on the other side, Trent Simpson is an X factor because you're not going to have Teddy Buchanan anymore this year. I would say Jay Higgins leading the practice report, which is on Ravori Sports, that site, which is on the Ravori Sports Twitter page and Facebook. But he's definitely going to be your guy the rest of the season for these last 3 regular season games and in the playoffs as well. Trent's going to be your guy to go ahead and get that as well. And I do like the Ravens in this game. I think New England is going to have some problems here. They haven't really been in a game like this yet. Last week against Buffalo, they kind of gave it up late. So I do think the Ravens do find a way to win this game. Lamar feeling a lot better the way Lamar looked in that one as well. And New England doesn't really have any game-breaking receivers to really take away the really good Ravens secondary. Secondary has been good, man. Secondary has really been good for the Ravens as well. So there you There I am. All right. So thank you for that. And we got that taken care of as well. So Ravens down. Here we are as a quote Dave Johnson. No, because the playoffs here are upon us. Big fight. 5 biggest games that are not Ravens games on the NFL schedule. So definitely check that out here as well. So definitely had fun with Ravens games on Sunday night and everything that are going on. I had really good time watching the games here that are not Ravens games here in the latest weeks. So definitely let's go over it. Big 5, week 15. Definitely a lot of games that were going on. Let's try and go in order here with this. That's the wrong way. Lions and the Rams. They're not that far apart. I think the Lions offense is really not what it was. I think they're just a piece here, kind of like the Ravens, kind of piece here, little piece there behind where they were. Secondary, not quite as offensive line, not quite as, and it's costing him. Also, to the NFC as a whole is really, really good in general. So I do think that's kind of a thing that's going on with them as well. Packers and Broncos. Broncos are not to be played with anymore. I mean, we're not even questioning the quarterback. Bo Nix and Sean Payton. This has turned into one of the best coach quarterback combinations in the league. Nix, I think, has been maybe the best quarterback in the NFL so far this year in the fourth quarter. Outstanding, devastating losing Parsons. That changes everything for me with Green Bay. Their defense without Parsons, I'm looking at that a whole different light. So that to me is a big, big deal, not having Micah Parsons on defense as well. Broncos keep winning these close games, and so that's what they continue to do. Broncos, I think, I mean, it's hard to argue right now, at least, that they're the best team in the entire AFC as well. This one now had my full attention. The Colts and the Seahawks. Phillip Rivers, I didn't even think he would play last week. 44 years old. The first player in the NFL history to be a grandfather in play. And he almost pulls it out, I think, in maybe the toughest home field in the league, and that is in Seattle. 18 for 27, had 120 yards, literally off the couch. He might be their best quarterback all season for them as well. Cool stuff. I don't think it's enough, but it's certainly a cool story in general. So it's definitely a very cool story that's happening, but interesting there. That's that story. Colts, I don't know if they make the playoffs. Seahawks definitely will. Seahawks, everybody picks on Darnold the second he stubs his toe at anything. Darnold is the real deal. No question about it. No Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. Chargers go ahead and win. Okay, sorry about that. All right, and so Kansas City, I thought was Kansas City not going to the playoffs this year. I think it's time. They definitely were a good team in recent years, but Kansas City, LA, it's their time to go ahead and go to the playoffs. So that's really good. And the Patriots did lose to Buffalo last week. I don't think any less of the Patriots. I mean, Patriots are really good. To me, just Josh Allen, I'll say it one more time. He's a thoroughbred. Josh Allen, I think he's become like Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Montana, Tom Brady. If he's on the field, you got a shot. That's exactly what happened. This week, big one on Thursday night, the Rams and the Seahawks. You could argue that these are the two best teams in the NFC going against each other. Sam Darnold last week getting the win in against the Colts, getting to squeak by there as well. Rams, I think, might be as good a team as you have in the NFL. I think the Rams do have a shot in this game. The Rams do have a shot in this game in Seattle. This will be a big litmus test for Seattle in the playoffs. So I think Seattle, these two teams are definitely going to the playoffs. Seattle definitely can we get the number one seed, but I haven't really seen Seattle really win a game like this in a while. So I'm really hesitant to go with them. I'm going to go with the Rams. I've just done it too many times. Stafford, I think I'm giving him the MVP if the guns went off right now. I don't think this is a team with a flaw at all. I think they have a good quarterback, good run game, excellent offensive coach, best receiver, I think, maybe right now, Puka Nacua. They may not have Devontae Adams as well. Seattle's almost as good. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba is probably the best young receiver, one of them in the league. The defense, I think, is top shelf. They have a great defensive coach, but I don't think they win a game like this. Darnold, let's see if he could go ahead and out Stafford in a situation like this. Bears and the Packers. I like the Bears here. I can't say I would have a few weeks ago. I do like them here as well. I think the Bears are the real deal. They're flawed. There are some flawed. Caleb is still young, and you could see that. I could tell he's listening to Ben Johnson. I could tell he's kind of working through some things, but they're a little flawed. But he's scoring. He's getting the defense. Their defense isn't great, but they're getting turnovers. So I think that, like, instead of being great, they're actually taking the ball away from the other team. I do think they're going to get shots with that with Jordan Love. I just that Parsons is not good. That Parsons, I think that takes the defense down. I think that's a thing. They may have Josh Jacobs in this one. Christian Watson, I don't think he plays as well. I think that's going to hurt him too on the other side. So I like the Bears. Bears are very motivated. Bears hate the Packers. They're sick and tired of losing to the Packers, and I think the Bears have a shot in this one. This one is probably for first place in the South. So they're going to play, actually, I think, again, coming up here soon, if I'm not mistaken. I think they play week 17 as well. They play in week 18 as well. Let's see. Yeah, so they play in Tampa here in a few weeks. So they're going to play again in a fortnight. So the schedule makers knew what they were doing because these two teams are going to decide it here in the next few weeks who's going to win the South. I really like Carolina. What they're doing. This is what good coaching looks like. This is what understanding what you are looks like. Running the ball pretty much every play, taking the ball out of Bryce Young's head, and he's making plays when he gets a chance. That's what they're doing. The Bucs are in complete free fall. I mean, I think the Bucs were almost in the elite category, and it's been a while for them. Baker Mayfield not as good here in the second half. Their older guys, Evans banged up, Godwin banged up as well. Offensive line not looking nearly as good. Defense, they're really falling here. I like Carolina. I think Carolina in this they know it. I know exactly what I'm going to be looking at when I'm looking at this game. Carolina is going to go ahead and run the ball 40,000 times. They're going to kick the ball out of your hands, and they're going to run it down your throat. They definitely have a plan, and I like them at home here. Carolina over Tampa. And this one, I think people are right when they say nobody's talking about the Jags. I think like people, look, Denver, you can't believe it. Jacksonville, you can't believe it. Jacksonville, I think, definitely has really worked their way to becoming I don't know still if they're better than Tennessee, but they're. I mean, but you can't knock results with Carolina. You can't knock results rather with Jacksonville. Jacksonville scores when they score 30 plus points or 20 plus points every week. I think they have as many points scored as any team in the league. I don't know if that's statistically accurate, but these guys they score a lot of points. I mean, they're not
Lawrence is really doing a good job for them. They're really horse racing teams. Defense isn't great, but they're scoring a lot of points. All that said, I don't think they win in Denver. Denver's defense, I think, is the best in the NFL, probably next to Houston. So I think Denver's defense, does a good job as well. Zach Allen, Patrick Surtain, all the names in Denver. Knicks, I think he might be the best quarterback in the league so far, at least this year, in the fourth quarter. Knicks has been really, really good down the stretch in the fourth quarter. So really like with some of the stuff that Knicks has done. I like Jacksonville. I don't like them in this. I like Denver. Denver still has a lot to play for as well for the home field. And the two teams here, the Lions and the Squealers, you got to give Pittsburgh credit. Pittsburgh has offensively done better recently. So they are in the recent times here. This light will not stay up. Their defense, they have done better recently. So they have done better recently as well. Aaron Rodgers has played his best football, I think, the last few weeks. So I think this is why the Steelers are having more success clearly on offense. He's finding DK Metcalf, and that's a good idea to do. Steelers is so flawed. I still think the Lions are too talented for them. But the Lions, they got to show me something here. Do you want to play? Do you want to stay in it? Do you want to make the playoffs? I think it's still a thing for them. They're still in contention. They're going to need this win. I think the Lions actually show up and beat the Squealers. There you go. Big Five. 5 biggest games on the schedule. That are not Ravens games. Definitely check out the games. All right. We'll get to the college football playoffs in a second. I'm going to rant on that. But let's talk about the game that's near the opposite of that, the near and dear to my heart. So we got the wrong answer in this one. But the Black Knights of Army over the Midshipmen of Navy. Obviously, this game near and dear to my heart, being a former reservist, spent several years in the military. Annapolis is probably closer of all the teams in college football, probably the closest to ones to where I lived as far as Division I AA being in Annapolis. So, but I wasn't rooting for them. I was rooting for Army. This was an outstanding game. Always is. So congratulations to the Army midshipmen winning the Commanders in Chief Trophy. So good for them. 17-16. President Trump was at the game. Gave him the Baltimore cheer. Of course, if you don't know what that is, on the field. And the game was in Baltimore this year. The two quarterbacks I thought were outstanding in this one all the way through. Cade Helms, 5 for 12, 82 yards, 25 carries. How about that from the quarterback? 100 yards. I thought they both did. I thought both quarterbacks were really, really good. Showed a lot of heart in this one next year. When he comes back next year, he's definitely going to have the Black Knights with a better record than they had at the end of this one. Not a lot for the running backs. Most of it was from Cade Hummus. Sammy Howard, 6 carries, 12 yards. Noah Short for them. When he did throw the ball, 3 of the 5 catches were to him. 51 yards receiving as well. Brady Anderson, that was actually his name as well. Tremendous stuff, I thought, running the football, both teams as well. The captains for the Black Knights as well. Aiden Thomas, one of the captains, rather. Aiden Thomas, 11 tackles. Colin Matheson was all over the field also as well. So 11 tackles. So definitely. Look, you're going to rack up a lot of tackles because most of these plays are run plays, etc. Little short passes. Fantastic. Just fantastic. Blake Hartak, I thought really stole the show. Look at this stat line, gentlemen and ladies that are watching this, and little kids. 7 touchdowns, 7 passes, 82 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception, 34 rushes. Crazy. 107 yards, 1 TD, running that triple option. I thought the difference was that when they did need to pass, he was a better passer. He didn't throw it. The numbers don't show that, but Horvath, it definitely looked better when he threw the football, when he dropped back, etc. His decision making, I thought that was better. I really thought that was better. He had also more help in the run game. Alex Teska playing fullback last year, getting more carries, 9 carries, 50 yards as well. Eli Heineck. He looked like a real receiver, but he was all over the field. Like you see a lot of these guys listed as a receiver. He looked a lot like a fullback. Did a lot of blocking, had some tough catches over the middle, but this is where they wanted to throw the ball. This is where he went. Just think about it. 6 catches, 72 yards, and the quarterback completed 7 passes the entire football game. So that tells you what they think of Horvath in this one. Landon Robinson, 4 tackles in this one. He was the captain on the other side. These games go like this. They just go like this. That's just how these games are. Nip and tuck both ways. A lot of running the football as well. I thought the fans and everything was great. Not so much X and O for me in this one game. Just this is the purity of football. If you really like football in general, this is a game you absolutely want to check out. Army, Navy. Hopefully we get the right result next year. And they have moved this game out of Philadelphia. For years and years, they were kind of in Philly. So the marketability of this game is really out there. So they've been moving it around as well. Army is going to a bowl as well, and so is the Middies. There actually is a bowl now in Annapolis. So that's good. I wouldn't be excited about that. Playing Annapolis, Maryland in January. I don't know about that one. But 17-16 Midshipmen over the Black Knights. All right. And so let's go ahead and go over this here. There you go. All right. And so speaking of college football here, and so let's go ahead and talk about the college football playoffs. So this weekend it's starting the college football playoffs with controversy, as it always is, as well. But let's go ahead and go over some of the games here and the schedule as well. Obviously, I'm going to tell you what I think because I think there's just so much good playing and so much. The politics of college football is just crazy here as well. Friday night, so we're going to get it Oklahoma and Alabama. So Alabama, that's going to be Friday night, ASBC, ABC, ESPN, Disney family of networks as well. Is going to go ahead and get that game, and Texas A&M and Florida. That is the next day at 12 o'clock. Why is your time? Turn that timer off. There you go. Stay up there, buddy. All right. So Oklahoma, Alabama. Oklahoma is really good. I'm a little not surprised that they're higher seed. I think they should be a little bit higher than Alabama. Alabama doesn't belong in this thing. The bias that Alabama gets, and not that they're a bad team, but by no stretch. I mean, they might surprise me, prove me wrong, but I don't think so. Alabama, the winner of this game gets to play Indiana. I think that's going to be a tough matchup for whoever wins it as well. But that game is going to go first here as well. Texas A&M and Florida Miami. Miami, I think, is really good. I think Miami decisively wins this game. They're going to have a tough task now being on the road here, going against Texas A&M. But I think Miami's definitely a better team as well. Texas A&M, I think they're pretty good. I think that they're another one kind of propped up a little bit by the SEC, where I don't think they're as good as they score a lot of points, obviously. But I think I'm not as convinced of Miami. I think Miami, Carson Beck, etc. They could go ahead. They could play anywhere as well. Gunnar Stott, Mike Reed, Texas A&M. I'm getting the name wrong. Can't even say Marcel Reed. I'm sorry. Marcel Reed is really good, but they are. I'm really liking Miami in this game as well. Ole Miss. Ole Miss isn't bad. I kind of think all the drama that they're going through, to me, I thought it was more of a favorable seed than I thought they would get in this one as well. So Ole Miss is going to go ahead and play against Tulane in this one. So Tulane is the 11th seed here, and also that's the wrong graph again. Tulane against the 11th seed. And this game is going to be on TNT, HBO Max, etc. See how that goes now with the Netflix merger. That might be one channel as well. Netflix and Paramount is merging with them here pretty soon as well. And Oregon against James Madison. Oregon and James Madison, there's not much happening there. Oregon is going to just beat the brakes off of James Madison. Tulane, I think this will be a little bit closer than what people think it is. I don't love Ole Miss. I haven't loved them. I mean, they're good, but I'm not in love with them. I think these two teams are a little bit closer than what people think. I do think they'll win, but I don't think this is that. I don't think this is the second game, like where James Madison has no shot at it. I don't think James Madison has a shot in the world with this. I do think James Madison does lose this game as well, and I do like Ole Miss in this game here. I will say this: Notre Dame needs to quit complaining. Notre Dame is not the tournament. This is the team that you didn't see here in this first weekend as well. Real quick, the teams that aren't in it, you're going to see them in the next round. Texas Tech has a bye. They're in it. Indiana, Ohio State, and Georgia. That's about right. I got no problem with those as well. I'll say this. I'm gonna say this. Notre Dame, you got no beef. You need to stop. And it's astounding to me how they're yelling at the ACC. You guys got no guts. Stand up to the SEC. It's the same kind of same thing in baseball. You're mad at the Dodgers for what reason? What do you think happens in business and people with money? They pay big bank, little bank. They're going to outbid you. They're going to take better players. Do something about it. And it's the same thing. Like Notre Dame is screaming at the ACC. What are you screaming at them for? It was the SEC and the Big Ten is boxing you out. They're the ones manipulating the system, but you're yelling at the ACC. Like, what are you mad with them for? Why should they care what you're doing? Why wouldn't they want Miami in the tournament instead of you? I don't. You got no beef. Miami beat you anyway. You got no beef. Alabama doesn't belong there. 3 losses. I'm sorry, you're not an at-large. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You got 3 losses. Why are you in it? Why are you in it at all with 3 losses and complaining about it's SEC bias? It's all about bias to the SEC. You got to get the SEC, all these teams, etc. It's really silly. As well, more college sports. Maryland Terps basketball. Talking about another loss. Pharrell Payne went out in the last game. As well, Dickie Colt I thought was fantastic. Dickie Colt had 30 something. I think he's going to stay in the starting lineup now for sure. This is your other scorer. David Dickie Colt is about 5'11", He's not. He's in no way is he this point guard. He's a volume scorer. He's looking to put it up and light you up and score a lot of points. That's what he's looking to do. Defensively, you're not good. Defensively, you're giving up way too many points. Now, somebody's going to say, well, the trend in college, blah, 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 blah. I understand all that. But you can't give up this many points every game as well as you did in this last game. You just can't do it. Michigan is really good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think Michigan, Dusty May's got a good team as well. But what was the final score? Yeah, 101-83. They were good for about a half. They stayed in it as well. So not many games they're going to that are going on right now. I think maybe finals and holiday and all that's going on. So this weekend they're going to go ahead and play in Virginia. So I think they got one more game in December after that. So definitely check it out here, Maryland basketball. I haven't heard anything about the Pharrell Payne injury. I haven't as well. But I was surprised as with that injury when he first hurt his leg in the game. That really looked bad. But then he kind of bounced back and it was like, okay. And then he goes out again. It's going to linger. It's going to linger. That's bad injury because they really need somebody to score on the inside as well. Defensively, though, this team really has struggled as well. Offensively, they're Jekyll or Hyde as well. I think they kind of really rely on Diggy Colt and Pharrell Payne to score. They're young guys. Miles Rice is kind of losing some minutes. Darius Adams is good, kind of losing him some minutes. The rotation, it's a work in progress. So Buzz Williams is going to have some time to work his stuff in. All right. Baseball segment here. So the winter meetings are over, so we're going to talk a little bit more about free agency. So we are not speaking in anecdotal terms, are we? Right? Let's talk about what the Orioles are actually doing and what other teams are doing. So it says Orioles free agent talk. We're going to talk a little bit about what's actually happened. We're going to report a little bit on what's actually happened in free agency as well. It's really happening now. So baseball, after you get to the winter meetings, stuff starts to move. It was a signing today as well. So really stuff is starting to happen right now. Catchers, really nothing has happened yet as well. Don't think the Orioles will be looking for a catcher. Danny Jansen was the one signing. So the Rangers are going to have him 2 years deal. So he was with the Rays as well. Real Muto, I think, is probably still the number one guy on the board there. I think he's probably going back to Philadelphia. Carolini with the Braves, Mitch Garver, Sanchez, probably backup catchers as well. Tarantini, I don't know if he signs there with Atlanta with Drake Baldwin's development. We will see there as well. And how you like it, Oriole fans? The number one guy on the board, Pete Alonso. 5 years, I think it's 155. I will say this. It's baffling why the Mets didn't sign him. The more I think about it, it's like, that's strange. Unless you really need to pay a payroll down, I can't really think of a good reason, considering what he signed for, why the Mets wouldn't do that. This was a guy who was a career Met. Right? So what if his production fell a little bit in the last year or two of the deal? I don't think anybody would have cared. Interesting to see that, why they didn't go ahead and sign him. But he's going to be playing at Camden Yards, first base. The question with the Orioles, though, is now what happens with the guys presumably before he signed playing there, Pete Alonso and Josh Naylor. Interested to see what happens there. Pete Alonso, I'm reading Josh Naylor's name. Pete Alonso and Ryan Mountcastle. I think a move will be made there, obviously. Josh Naylor re-up with the Mariners. Definitely, like the Mariners are definitely trying to get some more thunder in the offense after so many years of just kind of being a speed team station to station. Let's see. I'm going to try the name right. Maruta Kanaka Murakami from Japan. So definitely he's a guy first base they're going to look at. Probably the best young player on the board Goldsman has been talking to teams. Same with Carl Santana. I think it's possible. I think he gets a landing spot to start. He'll go sign instead of retire. Josh Bell signed with the Minnesota Twins as well. Gabriel Torres takes the deal, the qualifying offer. He's going back to the Tigers. Good signing for them. One of the players they're looking at that might play first base, from what I'm seeing, even though he's here at second base, is Jorge Polanco, signed from the Mets. So the Mets go ahead and sign Jorge Polanco. So interesting to see that he might play first. Arias could play several spots at the midfield, hasn't signed yet. Neither has Brandon Lowe or Jose Iglesias as well. I think definitely good additions, starting additions for somebody out there as well. Bregman hasn't signed. I'm a little surprised by that. Whatever it is, he's going to get a lot of money. I think the White Sox are still going to try and sign him. Definitely he's weighing his options. Suarez, I don't think Suarez is signed. I keep thinking he's... Is Suarez signed? Hold on. Management appreciates your cooperation. I keep thinking at it. I just looked at it again. No, he didn't sign. I keep thinking it was Robert Suarez. That's what I'm thinking. Robert Suarez signed. So none of these guys have signed. Muncy, I think, is going to re-up with the Dodgers for one more year. Omalato and Makana, definitely these are guys that are more utility-ish / starter-ish types as well. Bo Brissett's still out there. So interesting to see what his options are out there as well. Hassan Kim signed for a lot of money. That was like a $20 million. Atlanta signed him for as well. Interesting to see Braves actually spending so much money on infield as well, with all B's and all that other stuff still pending. So interesting to see that. Rojas, again, he's probably going to retire after this year. Signed for one more year with the Dodgers. Will Castro has been looking at teams. Ahmed Rosario re-signed with the Yankees. Couple more. Kyle Tucker is still out there. Kyle Tucker's still out there. His contract's going to be upwards of $300 million as well. I think in his case, it is going to be Yankees, Dodgers, etc. Because he's going to get the most money. He's going to get the most money. He's definitely going to get more than Schwarber, who's got like $150 million. So definitely that's a good benchmark. He's going to get more than that. So I think that's interesting as well. Bellinger, Chet Grisham, and Harrison Bader, those guys are going to be starters somewhere as well. So they have not signed yet. I don't know if the Orioles will look at any of those guys, but I definitely think those are still names out there. DH is probably, that's usually a little later. Osuna, Jack Peterson, Ryan O'Hearn, Russ Hodkins, Malho, Aguilar. They're going to have to wait. I think you're going to see those guys a little bit after January, a little closer to spring training, etc. See those guys before they sign. Pitching hasn't moved as much, at least in the starting set. The bigger one, obviously, is Dylan Cease. The Blue Jays, that's a good signing for a team that just won the pennant, just inches away from winning the World Series. 7 years, so definitely one thing they need. I definitely think they are positioning themselves to be good for a while. So they brought Gosman back. They're going to have Cease, and they're going to have Trey Savage. That's pretty good, like a rotation there. Framley Valdez, I definitely think he could sign with the Orioles. It's definitely a guy. Mike Elias had a lot to do with getting him in the majors, so it's definitely a guy they're going to look at. I'm hearing their Orioles are in on Suarez and they're in on King. I totally believe that. We believe now, right? Since they signed somebody, totally believe they're in on that as well. Amai from Japan, I think is definitely. I think Dodgers is written all over that as well. Zach Gallen, I think, has a chance. I think he could return to the Diamondbacks. I definitely think he's a little bit lower on the list here, but it'll be interesting to see. Not a lot of the pitchers are signed. Chris Bassett, Canning, Zach Liddell, Dusty May. Dustin May has signed a 1 year with the Sox as well. Relief pitching has been moving for sure. Robert Suarez signed with the Braves, which is interesting because they also signed Iglesias to a 1 year deal. So I definitely think, looking at the money, that Suarez is going to be the guy, and Iglesias is still going to be there in maybe a more eighth inning role. So definitely loading up on the bullpen. Halsey, I think, is going to have closer. Is going to be the Orioles closer in 2026. They definitely had to do it. There's no Felix Bautista there, so they could have an off season where they sign a slugger, an ace, and a closer. I love it. So absolutely good. Just today, Luke Weaver signed with the Mets. So definitely, too, they're losing Edwin Diaz, who signed with the Dodger. I think the biggest closer contract out there as well. Relief pitching kind of always easier to do. You could sign a 1-2, like the Diaz deal, like a 3 year deal. That's about the longest one for a pitcher. There you go. All right. So, Orioles. I don't think they're done yet, guys. I think we just talked about it there as well. I think Valdez, is on the table. I think King is on the table. Orioles are going for it. We haven't seen this in 17, 18, however many years it is, where the Orioles are actually taking players and signing them and trying to move forward and actually become a team to actually win a World Series this year. So you've already signed Pete Alonso. You've already signed Halsey. I do think they're in on one of these starters as well. Trade, I think, is also there. Edward Cabrera is a guy I think they're going to look at as well from Miami, simply because I think now with Alonso, you got Mountcastle on the table. You got Kobe Mayo, I think, maybe on the table. You may have Bradfield on the table, something like that. So you definitely have more capital because now you have more at the major league level. All right. Did I get any comments? All right. So I want to thank y'all for joining us here, all 36 of you out here watching on all of our platforms, on Twitter, on Kick, on Twitch, and on YouTube. I want to thank all of you. If they don't get another chance here, we're going to be doing this on Sunday after the Ravens game as well. But thank you. Enjoy the holiday season. Enjoy the football and the sports that are going on. Thank you, all of you, for joining us here on the Ravori Sports Podcast. Have a great rest of your day.